One of the questions I get asked the most is, how did you come to terms with your adult
Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about parents reacting to their adult children going no contact with them. So we have seen a lot on TikTok where parents are coming out how they feel about their children being no contact with them. So I put the videos together so that you watch and late. I'll be back to share my
One of the questions I get asked the most is, how did you come to terms with your adult children going no contact? So let's talk about it. At first, it wasn't easy. I'm going to be honest. I didn't understand why they went no contact. I was confused about what I could have done differently. I thought I was making progress in how I was healing my trauma. But I realized that I still had a lot of work to do. So one day I was trying to do some trauma work that my therapist had given to me. And I had this vision, and I know this is going to sound weird, but stick with me. I envisioned my kids when they were younger, and I would have to put them in the playpen when I had needed to get some work done. So I needed to do the dishes. So I would put them in a playpen with their toys where they were safe and could amuse themselves while I got the work done that I needed to get done. And I realized that something like that is happening now. They're off doing their own thing right now. My children are happy, they're healthy, they're living the life that they want to live, and that's all I've ever wanted for them. But while they're doing that, the analogy of the playpen, I need to get my work done, because there may come a day when they do come back into my life. And when they do come back into my life, if they do come back into my life, I want to be ready. I want to be emotionally available to them. I want to be able to hold space for the pain that I caused. I want to be able to hear their pain, acknowledge their pain, validate them, and understand them. I don't want to be defensive, play the victim, be passive aggressive, or manipulative. I did that. That's what I was doing before I started getting therapy. I didn't know it at the time, but now I see it. I also don't want to force my children to have a relationship with me. I don't want them to come back into my life because they feel sorry for me, or because they feel guilty, or because they feel like they're supposed to, or they feel obligated to. I want them to come back into my life when and if they actually want to have a relationship with me. They see some value in it for them. All I've ever wanted is for my kids to be happy. That's it. I just wanted my kids to be happy. And I realized they're happy now. And so now is the time. It's a perfect opportunity for me to get therapy, read as many books as I can, educate myself on trauma, heal my trauma, understand my triggers, ground myself, learn how to meditate, all these things that make me an emotionally available mother. I need to learn how to do that because I didn't learn how to do that before I had kids. So now I think of my kids as happy, healthy, enjoying their life, and that brings me joy. And in the meantime, while they're taking the space that they need, I am making sure that I do as much work as I can on myself.
So I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this one, but I don't care. So I'm going to address a comment that repeatedly gets commented on my post and other people talking about estrangement. And it's the comment that says, your children are not estranging from you to hurt you. They're doing it to protect themselves. I call BS. What are they protecting themselves from with us? Loving parents who've always supported them, loving parents who's always done everything in their power to be there for them, who financially has supported them, who has went out of their way and put their life on the back burner for their kids. What are they protecting themselves from? I know there are true legit cases of abused children, ECs, that genuinely need to walk away, but we're not talking about those. We are not talking about that percentage. We're talking about the rapidly growing epidemic of estranged children who walk away from their parents, and they walk away with no communication. Yes, I know that there are kids that have tried to talk to their parents. I'm well aware, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about the big ones that shut their parents out, don't tell them why, won't communicate. They're protecting themselves, but not from us. They're protecting them so they don't have to be accountable for anything that they've done. So they don't have to sit down and have an adult conversation, have a hard conversation with their parents. They don't have to take any responsibility for anything that they've done. They walk away from anyone and everyone who tries to hold them accountable. It's easier to walk away. So I call BS on that comment. So, ruffle some feathers? I don't care. That's the truth.
I'm an estranged parent, and I have two daughters who are no contact. And I just found out that they have seen my TikTok page. I want to start out by saying, in case my daughters are watching my page, that I love you with all my heart. I always have, and I always will. That I want you to understand that I am no longer wishing to reconnect or reconcile or fix this. I can't believe that I'm saying this because I would have sworn I would never be here, that there was nothing that could happen that would ever make me feel like there was, I mean, I've said I've lost hope, but it's more like I feel like I ran out of options then, and now I think I don't want hope anymore. And I do have options. I realize that I have options, and my options are to no longer let this define my life. I've never posted anything on this page, which has been my safe space. That's a word and a phrase that I learned about through estrangement and no contact. And I did the hard work, guys. I did. I took a lot of therapy, and I gave myself some new titles. My oldest daughter, if you're watching, I saw the posts on social media that were shared with me about how it was having a narcissistic mom. And when I saw that, and in the message, because I've only received one message from both of you, and that was about 3 years ago from you, my oldest daughter, basically telling me I had destroyed your life, and the songs that you sent links to, How Do I Say Goodbye, and Taylor Swift's Dear John, and you told me to change Dear John to Dear Mom, and that would explain how you felt. I did. I listened to it 1,000,000 times, and I replaced it, and I owned it. I didn't want to invalidate you, and I felt like if I could just feel all of those things, I would be able to understand why I was a colossal flop as your mama.
5 things I've learned since 2 of my adult children have gone no contact with me. Number 1, intergenerational trauma is real, and as a result of my unhealed wounds, I was emotionally unavailable to my sons. They made the right decision for them, and I'm proud of them. The best way I can love them is to honor and respect their no contact wishes. I could either blame them or I could work on me. I chose to work on me. Just because I tried my best doesn't mean I didn't mess up being a parent, and admitting that doesn't make me a bad person. My son's going no contact with me has been one of the most difficult things that's ever happened to me in my life, but it's also been a blessing. Please hear me out here. It has given me the time and the space to be able to look at my own unhealed trauma and figure out where my own toxicity is and how I can improve myself, how I can heal myself and become a better version of myself. There's always something to learn. No matter what we go through in life, there's always something we can learn about ourselves.
That's a video, guys. I'm just here also to share my two cents, like what I think about today's video. Parents react to their adult children going no contact. So when adult children choose to go no contact with parents, and how parents react to this decision, for some is a total shock. Many parents feel blindsided, confused, and deeply hurt, often claiming they did their best or had no idea things were so bad. They express disbelief that their child would cut them off without what they consider a valid reason. Others going to deny or downplaying or dismissing their child's emotional experiences has exaggerated, blaming outside influences like therapists, romantic partners, or even the internet. But what we often miss in this situation is that no contact is really a spur of the moment decision. It's usually the result of years of unmet emotional needs, unresolved trauma, or repeated boundary variations. While some parents react with anger or guilt tripping, others spiral into grief, mourning a relationship they didn't even know was damaged. Okay, that's it's really bad. Okay, crying for a relationship which was not even there. Some take to social media or family gathering to paint themselves as the victims, while others quietly hope their child will come back one day once they calm down. There is also the group of parents who go to panic mode despite reaching out, writing letters, sending gifts, or involving mutual acquaintances in hope of reconciliation. What's interesting and heartbreaking is that many parents don't ask the critical questions. Why did this happen? Instead of introspecting their internalizing the blame, some will say they were also always sensitive or will never heed them. We give them everything, failing to recognize that emotional neglect and invalidation can be just as damaging as physical abuse. For children, going no contact is often the final act of reclaiming peace and safety, not an attempt to hurt their parents, but to protect themselves from further harm. Then there's their parents who truly want to understand. They sit with the discomfort, read the books, go to therapy, and try to figure out where things went wrong. These reactions are rarely but powerful. They don't guarantee reconnection, but they show a willingness to grow and respect the adult children boundaries. In those cases, even if the relationship is not restored, there is often a new level of healing for both sides. Watching parents react in real time, whether through recorded interviews, written statements, or TikTok videos, can be incredibly varying. Some cries and plead for another chance, others rush out, calling their kids ungrateful or disrespectful. There is also a lot of pain, but how that pain is processed make all the difference. Some turn into bitterness, others turn into understanding, and few, despite their heartbreak, come to accept that love sometimes means letting go. This conversation is important because it focuses us to rethink the traditional parent child dynamic. It changes the belief that children are always or unconditional loyalty simply because they were raised or financially supported. It shines a light on generational trauma, communication gaps, and how mental health plays a role in family estrangement. For parents watching this is a moment to reflect. I'm listening to understand or I'm reacting to defend myself. And for adult children, it's a validation that choosing peace over connection, no matter how painful, is sometimes the healthiest path forward. Okay, so I've seen a lot of videos on TikTok, especially where people came with a lot of um stories, and some were so heartbreaking. So I came across a certain story where this lady said, like, I someone gave birth to me, and she thinks she's in competition with me, or she just hates me. All right. So some of the parents, when these children are narrating, especially the adult children, they were not available parents. The children would communicate to them 1 million times, but they don't see these things. They don't want to sort these things. She's not even willing to be there. And some were physically abusive, some were emotionally abusive, some were um financially abusive. Okay, so children were saying we only wanted love from them. Okay, and these parents, their parenting styles was not really very good because they couldn't communicate with the children. Okay, you just let the children grow, they should know their things on their own. And we need children now we have opportunities where you have to say what you think. For example, in our house, parenting, my dad made and my mom made parenting as me to see parenting as it was easy because he could talk to us. Okay, I've never seen these two people fighting in front of us. All we've seen in our house was love. Like these people love each other. They're always all over each other and all that. This is what they showed us. And the other thing is, not they were pretending, not they were not having problems. I think they were having their own problems, and they had a good way of solving their issues that they don't come out of the bedroom, or maybe so that as we have we sense anything like that. And growing up, we had they let us say our opinions. Okay, they could bring us situations where I could say, and I was very open. Okay, they brought us in a way where you can say anything. Okay, you can tell him anything, and he will teach you where he sees like that's not supposed to be like that, it's supposed to be like this. So they were making sure that we're in the right track. Okay, and they were also like protecting us. They used to protect us a lot, and you used to tell us true about this life. Okay, about growing up and all that, all these things that we need to hear. Like he made sure we did that. So me, I'm very open. If me I have a problem, I'll call my dad and vent. Just vent to him, vent. And I always trust his his advices. I trust his advice because when he says that, I feel like for me it's it's gonna do that. But anyway, yeah, and just like that, and we're in good terms. Like me and my parents, we've never gone no contact. I don't have a problem with them either. We have a good relationship, and they have a good relationship with my husband. Yeah, so we are good. Um, that's the thing. Even my mom, we had a very good relationship like that. Yeah, so people have different issues, and they don't blame people who are going no contact with their parents. They have valid reasons, and we understand those reasons because you can't just go to that extent if you don't have your reasons. So I think parents should listen to their children, okay, and respect it that they don't want to talk to them when they come down, when they think like, okay, now I'm ready. Okay, if they've gotten their therapy and you also got your therapy and you heal all these things, this is when you can decide to call back your child and have a conversation, or maybe when the child, especially when the child reaches to you, okay, so that you talk things over. It's really important. Yeah, so whenever you have to wait until they reach out to you so that you're together. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.